evening, YouTube. Yes, it's evening time. We're making peach jelly tonight, and we're going to use some Sure-Jell, some pure cane sugar, and peaches, and an apple. We got two 1-gallon bags of peaches that have been, well, they were put up year before last. I thought my wife would make me some jelly. She didn't. And I was out in the freezer cleaning the freezer out the other night and found these peaches in there, and they looked really pathetic. So there's not going to be peach preserves made. None of those real pretty peach preserves. So it really broke my heart, because that's really what I wanted when I went and bought the peaches. So I've got this, and I brought them to a boil last night, pureed them, and then I set them in the refrigerator. This evening I pulled them out and added some water to them, added an apple for the pectin, the natural pectin that's in the apple, to help it sit. And these have been, now I brought them to a boil slowly. They've been rolling at a rolling boil for about 15 or 20 minutes now. And we're going to strain it. I have this special straining bag that I bought for making wine. I've got a large enough pan, strainer. We've got our straining bag. This was a pure white cotton. It was pure white, and it was cotton. 100% cotton pillowcase. I bought this at Walmart, and well, I've strained all kinds of stuff through it. Tomatoes, tomato sauce, tomato juice, all kinds of stuff. So I've got that in there, and I'm going to pour this in here. You can hear it, it's going through there really well. Can you hear that? Grab a slotted spoon. And you see, I mean, it's got the consistency of real thick, real thin applesauce. And I'm gonna let that sit and strain. I need me a hook tied up in the ceiling up here that I can tie a rope off of in a situation like this, and hang my bag over my pot. That would be ideal. Guys, if your wife likes to make jellies and jams, that would be a good idea for you to do. That'd be a good project for you to do for your wife. And I just thought of it, so you'll probably see one in my kitchen here pretty soon. Ours here. And what I'm going to do is to make sure that that's not sitting in the juice. I'm going to put one on this side and one on this side. There. Now. And the young lady that I watched on YouTube on how to make peach jelly, I would give her a shout out, but I can't remember her name. But she followed the Sure-Jell recipe, and then there was a lady that I watched, I guess about 6 months ago, 8 months ago, when I was thinking about doing this before. And she was one that suggested using apple. So I'm going to use both of them's method. I'm going to blend them together and make them my method. But the lady I watched last night, she said that she used the grape jelly recipe, and it turned out really well for her. So with grape jelly, you start out with 3.5 pounds of grapes. Okay, and that's about what we had or actually we had probably about 7 pounds of peaches per gallon bag. They were pretty well stuffed. They were overripe. My wife just cut them up, and excuse me, she's my ex-wife now, but she put them up. She peeled them and put them up in freezer bags. I was hoping she was going to make me some really good preserves out of them, but she didn't. So we're looking at just a real simple recipe. Cooked jelly directions. Prepare lids, jars as directed. We're going to sanitize our jars and everything. I got dishes in the dishwasher going right now. I'll have to empty it, and I'll have to get my jelly jars. But according to this will make, it says 8 cups. Well, man, why don't it measure them by pint jar, at least by pint jars or by half pints? How many cups is in a pint? I don't know. That particular one don't have measurement on it. Well, I tell you what. I'll tell you real fast how many cups it has. Two cups. 2 cups in a pint. So we're gonna get about 8, probably about 8 cups or 8 pints of jelly. That'd be fine with me, because I've got strawberry jelly, I've got apple jelly, I've got cherry jelly that I made this year. That's not counting the blackberry jelly that I had made a couple years ago, and figs and stuff. Really, jellies don't ruin. They really don't. Okay, so we're going to prepare our lids and jars. We know how to do that. You guys are going to have to take Canning 101. If y'all are not canners, you need to go take look at some films on Canning 101. I am not going to do one because I don't ever want to present myself as an expert. A lot of these recipes that you see me do are mine. They're my recipes. And just by stuff that I've learned. I'm by no means a professional. I do know what I'm doing, but I am not a professional. prepare fruit as directed in the following chart. Okay, so we brought our peaches to a boil. Boil them for 20 minutes. They're as concentrated as they're going to get. They're draining. And we've got quite a bit of juice. And we got more. I'm not grabbing that bag. That bag is hot. So, okay. We got our juice and it's prepared. As soon as it gets ready, what we'll do is, okay, it says to place 3 layers of damp cheesecloth or jelly bag in a large bowl. Pour prepared fruit into cheesecloth. Tie cheesecloth closed. Hang and let drip into bowl until dripping stops. That's why you need the hook up there. Not for no funny stuff. Measure the exact amount of prepared juice into a 6 or 8 quart stock pot. If necessary, add up to 1/2 cup to get exact measurement. If necessary, you can add up to 1/2 of a cup of water to get the exact amount necessary. Stir in lemon juice and water if required, as indicated in chart. The lemon juice is required. The water may or may not be. Proceed with step 2 of cooked jam directions. Let's go find the cooked jam directions. Okay, here's the cooked jam directions. Step 2. Measure exact amount of sugar into separate bowls. Do not reduce the sugar in the recipe, since that will result in set failures. So if you reduce or add any sugar to this, you could jeopardize your whole gel. Your jelly just won't gel. Okay? Alright, so we need to go, I guess, to step 3. Stir in the Sure-Jell. This package here. Into the juice in the saucepan. Add 1/2 teaspoon of butter. This is important. To reduce the foaming. Bring mixture to a full rolling boil. That means a boil that cannot be stopped when you stir it. On high heat. And stir constantly. Then you add the sugar to the fruit mixture in the saucepan. Return to a full rolling boil. Boil exactly 1 minute. Stir constantly. Remove from heat. Skim off any foam with a metal spoon. Ladle immediately into prepared jars, filling each to within 1/4 of an inch of the top. That means that you're not going far at all from the top. You're leaving very little head space. 1/4 of an inch of head space at the top. Wipe the jar rims with threads. Cover with 2-piece lids. Place jars on elevated rack in the canner. Lower the rack into the canner. Water must cover the jars by 1 to 2 inches. Add boiling water if needed. Cover. Bring water to a gentle boil. Process jellies for 5 minutes or jams for 10 minutes, adjusting the process time if necessary as directed in the altitude chart. Remove jars and place upright on a towel to cool immediately. After jars cool, check the seals by pressing the centers of lids with the finger. If the lid springs back, lid is not sealed and refrigeration is necessary. Let prepared jars stand at room temperature for 24 hours or for length of time indicated on recipe. Store unopened jams and jellies in cool, dry, dark place for up to 1 year. Refrigerate open jams and jellies up to 3 weeks. Okie dokie, my fine feathered friends. It says 5 cups of prepared juice. It's 2. There's 5 cups. Hey! Alright, my jars are all cleaned up. I've got half of them in this water here just soaking, and they're just going to stay warm and clean. The other half are in the canner, and I will be bringing them to a boil to sterilize them. Okay, I'm doing it totally different tonight than I did with my potatoes. Okay, I got a load of dishes in the dishwasher going. I ain't got time for all that craziness. Okay, I got my jars covered up by an inch of water over the top here. I'm fixing to crank this turbo burner up, maybe. There we go. Alright, and this lid is not made for this canner. This lid is actually bigger than that canner is. So I'm going to set this lid over the top of it because it will not lock down, but it'll seal. Okay, and I'm going to let that sit there for about 10 minutes or so. And I'll come back and check it, and then once I get them boiling, that's all I want. Once I get them boiling, I'll let them boil for 10 15 minutes. I'll let them sit there in hot water and simmer. While, okay, I got to get my I got to get my lids ready. Okay? And all this while I'm hungry. And it's hot in here. Okay, I think might need 20 of these. 2, 3, 4, 5. Six times 4 is 24. Whew, thought I was going to have to go dig out some boxes. let's use these pizza boxes up that I've got. These are the old style Kerr lids, and they have very thick seals. They will probably be reused, but I probably won't be reusing them. Okay, I want to point something out to you. Now, they're not pretty to look at, but they're very functional. I've got a ring here that's got rust on it. I'm going to use it, okay, because it has nothing to do with the integrity of the inside of that jar, okay. This right here has everything to do with the integrity of the inside of that jar. If that thing is rusted, any at all on the outside, don't use it. Don't use it. If it's ever been reused, don't ever reuse it. All right, that right there, I'm gonna use that ring. Whew, it's hot up in here. Okay, we're gonna put these in here. Cover them with water, hot water. Go ahead and put your little bit of vinegar in there. I'm going to do this for y'all's benefit tonight. But around here, it really don't bother. It doesn't matter because I mean, you can pour all the vinegar you want in there. It's not going to do really a whole lot of good because the water here is so hard that it leaves mineral deposits in your pot. Yeah, my water that I boil tea in, it's got a mineral deposit in it. I need to take sandpaper clean it out. It's been a while since I've done it. This is the way it is. Depends on where you live, what water's like. I don't have a water filtration system here, so that's just the way it is. We pay through the nose for water too. Earlier, I thought we was gonna be without electricity for a little while. Okay. All right, you can pop off any moment. There we go. All right, I'm gonna put those on low. My jars have been going for a wee bit. They're starting to get hot. I don't want that to seal. Alright, I'm going to put it on for another 10 minutes. And I'm going to go sit down while those jars are getting hot. Once they start boiling, I'll reduce that to a simmer. And then I will start on the jelly. They're just starting to boil. Let's give them about 5 more minutes and then I'm going to start the jelly. Alright, the jars are ready. So let's get them out. Trust me, these jars are sanitized because I just dropped a drop of that water on top of my foot and I believe it burned a hole all the way through it. Ooh, it's hot. This is our juice that we put in there a while ago. It is not on. It is probably hot, but it is not on. This is our Sure-Jell. 1 package of Sure-Jell, our juice, according to the directions of Grape Jelly. We're just going to kind of sprinkle that out. We're going to give that a quick stir. We're going to heat this on high heat and keep it stirred until it comes to a boil. Once it comes to a rolling boil is a boil that cannot be stirred out. We're going to put our sugar in it. Once we get that sugar in it, we're going to bring it back to a boil. Once it comes to a rolling boil, one that can't be stirred out, we're going to, at that point, we will absolutely set a timer for 1 minute, and at the end of that 1 minute, we'll take it off and jar it up. We're going to pour it into this and then jar it up. And one thing about it, you don't want to double your recipe. You don't want to double your recipe. Just make it twice. It's a pain, but I've done that before, and my recipe failed, and I did not enjoy having to redo it all. Now I'm gonna say something about these little jars, and I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. I do not buy those little jars. Absolutely do not buy those little jars. So if you get a jar of stuff from me, it's going to be a large jar. It's either going to be a quart jar or a pint jar. You're not going to see these little jars come out of my kitchen. Now, the reason that I'm putting them in there tonight is because I may have a little bit left. Just a little bit. And that's what I use it for. That way I don't waste it. Because, I mean, whenever you work this hard on something, you don't want to waste anything. So we're starting to come to a boil a little bit. So I'm going to use those jars to give back to the people that gave me those. I mean, because you never see your jars ever again. You never see them ever again. Very rarely do you have someone to say, hey, Chris, I've got 6 or 8 of your jars here. Thank you so much for giving me jar pickles and because I'll see 6, 7 jars with people that they don't realize them things right now are $14 and something a case. That's very high. Whenever I was going to open up my pickle factory, and I was going to literally open up a pickle factory. I could buy them for $1 a jar. $1 a jar. Those days were gone. Who wants to spend $12 on a jar of pickles? Nobody. Nobody does. So, if I do decide to open my pickle factory, I will be doing 5-gallon buckets only. Comes. One minute. Man, this can be the longest minute. it's the only way that I'm gonna get it. So if I don't make jelly myself, I ain't gonna get it because there's nobody gonna call me and say, "Hey, Chris, I got 12 jars of peach jelly. Do you want it?" No, they ain't gonna call me and ask me that. It said 1/4 of an inch head space. It'll can up. So I did not touch the ring. I did not spill any on any of it. I'm not gonna worry about wiping the rings off because, well, they just don't need it. They ain't been touched. That's one. I'm not gonna get as many as I thought for. Just think it's right. Right on the money. But I think 8 jars would be enough to hold me over and give one to my kids. Plus I got more peaches in there. I bought 2 boxes. Alright, those are already boiled. So set the timer. 5 minutes. First batch is done. There we go. There goes number 4. All 4 of them sealed. Well, guys, my canning endeavors are going to continue. This is where I'm going to drop you off. I'm going to say thank you for watching. Drop a comment down below. Look in the comments. Look in the descriptions for any links that I leave. And just remember that this stuff is not rocket science. Once you get used to doing it, I'd rather do this right here than I had go out to the bar on Saturday night. I certainly would. Yes, I would. Remember, always, there's one, it's already popped. can't remember what time it was I started this. But let's just say that the last 2 batches went much faster than the first batch. And that's simply because from the beginning, I put the lid on the juice and the jelly mixture as I was boiling it. So it helped. Now, whether it sets or not, we'll see. But I think it's going to, because the first batch is already setting. The second batch is already setting. By tomorrow morning, I'll get up in the morning. I think I'll have me some pancakes and peach jelly. Ain't that something? Made it through the night. Told you what we was gonna do this morning. So I was afraid that one jar wasn't gonna seal. So that's the reason I opened it first. I ended up with 12 jars plus some 2 little ones. And I'm gonna sit here and enjoy my pancake